Yes guys, and a welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, trying to revisit a video that I've done the best part of 2 years ago. You can see in the title right there, how to beat the work permit. Now, a lot of people already know this, so I guess this is just really for anyone that is not quite so familiar. If I can at least help one person, then my job is done. Now, there's a lot of things circulating around of what people say, how you can do it and how you can't. I'm going to just clarify a couple of things because there's something going about that some people say and different amounts and stuff, but I will just clarify the ways of getting players on a work permit. So, are you ready? Okay, so what we'll do is to make this demonstration a little bit easier. To make it a little bit easier, we will start as Manchester United because we know they're going to have a very high reputation, and we also know they're going to have a lot of money. So let's just cancel these friendlies so we haven't got to do none of that shit. So, first things first, right? And I want to start with something really, really simple. Going for a player who is a non-EU or non-EC, whichever way you want to call it. So, let's just... So we'll start with Javier Zanetti. Now, the most common one is when a non-EU has got a second nationality. He's Italian, so you haven't got to go through no work permit bullshit whatsoever. He doesn't count as a non-EU, even though he is Argentine, or Argentinian as they put it there. And of course, you can gain second nationality for an X amount of years when you've been in a country. Now, I don't know, that's different for every country. It's 5 years in England before you can gain it. So it's probably something similar in Italy. I'm not 100% sure. So let's start with Ronaldo, the great Ronaldo 9. Now, Ronaldo's Brazilian, he's a non-EU, and he's got no second nationality, so you would need a work permit for Ronaldo. So, let me explain something with you with Ronaldo. It works like this, and this is, I believe, is how it used to be in real life, hence the game has got this in. First of all, you've got to get an offer accepted. That's one thing. You then got to have terms. And the way the work permit gets done is, Ronaldo must have played in Brazil's last 2 years friendlies at least 70%. So 70%, I probably worded that incorrectly, 70% of the last 2 years worth of matches, not friendlies, matches. So that's how that works. So if someone has been injured, he's probably less likely to get the work permit. And obviously Ronaldo would be one. There is another way to get Ronaldo, I'll show you that in a moment. But that is how you would, how a work permit would go through in reality. So, let me now show you this guy, Ibrahim Said. Now, you all know who Ibrahim Said is. He's an Egyptian sweeper, defender, defensive midfielder. Now, I know, purely from memory, you can get Said without any problems. So, Said clearly has participated in at least 70% of Egypt's last 2 years' games. So what we'll do is I'm going to show you that, and I will just chuck in a 3 million offer for him. I know that'll get accepted. Okay, so that's the next one. Now, the next one, you all know who I'm going for here, Maximum Sigalko. Now, Sigalko, you all know Sigalko is uncapped for Belarus. He's not got a second nationality. You are going to need to get a dodgy work permit. We'll call it a dodgy work permit, and I'm going to show you how you do that, okay? Let's show you how you do that. Chuck an offer in that we know will get accepted. I know he'll be interested because I've opted for Manchester United. So, several ways to get players on the work permit. We'll start with, there you go, Sigalko's the first one. Now, I know Sigalko is not going to get a work permit. You may have already learnt the hard way and gone for him normally and it's not gone through. So, first step, you must offer him a role, a significant role, which is going to let you offer a certain amount per week. So, if you're offering him a hot prospect, it's going to fuck up the next step. I should point that out. Okay? So, this is key. And this is what a lot of people seem to have a bit of a difference of opinion on as to what the answer is. So, what you need to offer him, I've got my speed up, £35,000 per week. That is the key amount. £35,000 a week will get Maximum Sigalko. It will beat the work permit. It will go through the motions. You've got to wait a couple of weeks, but you will get him. And I'm going to show you that now whilst we're doing this. So, we'll offer that. So, very important that you offered him indispensable, because if you offered him squad rotation, it probably may not have offered 35 grand a week. So, Saeed. Now, I know Saeed, right? I know Saeed will get him. You've got to learn these, I guess. But Saeed, so I'm not going to offer him 35 grand a week. I'm going to leave it at 14 grand a week, and we'll leave it at that. Okay? Okay. We're just going to wait for those deals to go through now, and then we'll wait for the deals. There you go. Saeed's agreed, which is great news. And Sigalka's agreed. Okay. Now, whilst we wait for them to come through, it's going to be a few weeks, normally 3 weeks, isn't it? It's normally about 16, 17 days, isn't it? But I'm going to show you something, right, on somebody else, just whilst I can. Yeah, you all know Sergei Nikiforenko. Very similar sort of issue than Sigalko here. He's uncapped, he's got no second nationality. You'll get Nikiforenko for £1 million or so. Now, this is a tricky one for Nikiforenko, because Forenko, I'll do what I did with Sigalko. I'll offer him indispensable, but you'll probably see, I'm hoping it's going to make me look a liar now, but you'll probably see something different. Here we go. No, it's made me look a fucking liar. Okay, so take into account now who you are going to be, because if you are if you're not Man United, I think that's what it is actually. And I think Leeds United, the reputation of Leeds United is just clearly it's lower than Manchester United. And your wage structure isn't the same as Manchester United's. So you may have a wage structure to offer Sigalko 35 grand a week. What I had with Nikiforenko is, even though I went indispensable, the maximum I could offer was, check this out, 33,500 I think it was, or 34,500, and the work permit will not come through. The work permit will not come through, but what I'll do, in fact, I'll show you that, right? I'm going to offer 33,500. Okay. Okay, and he's accepted. Okay. So, that won't go through. I'm going to show you Nikiforenko not going through. Right, okay. Yeah, whatever. We might, before that Nikiforenko deal comes through, we might have to do a game, just to sort of flick through it. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Okay. So that's strange, isn't it? Saeed was agreed first, weren't he? So Sigalko, it has been accepted. He's been granted a conditional work permit, and there you see. And that is how you beat the work permit. I say beat. I don't want to use the word cheat, because I don't like the word cheat on anything. There's exploiting, and there's exploiting, which is probably an alias of cheat, but there's also beating the work permit. I don't believe, more so because I think this was a bit of a flaw in reality. I think we had it, didn't we, for a little bit with players not being able to get work permits, but now look at today. So, that is going to go through. Sigalko will make the move. And there he is. He is a Manchester United player. And he's on 35 grand a week. Now, of course, just remember, to get the work permit renewed, all you'd have to do, I mean, if you start with a player who's on non-EU and he's on 7 grand a week or whatever, renew the contract and offer him 35 grand a week, and it will renew, easily enough. Okay, so we're waiting for Saeed, wherever he is. Hoping that Saeed deal will come through before that game. There you go, Saeed, there you go, he's been granted a conditional work permit, and Saeed has agreed. So, it can be difficult, really, if you've got to try and work out, has somebody played in 70% of their country's last games? It is very, very difficult. There's no doubt about that. So what we'll do is we'll play Saeed. We'll just stick this game very, very quickly in. I've been reading about fucking Wes Brown yesterday about him being bankrupt. Fucking prick. He can kiss my ass, can't he? That's what I say. God, Man U got really shit defence, didn't they? Never really thought about it too much, but they've got a shit defence. Yeah. Okay, so Giggs, Beckham, Keane, Scholes, Sigalko, and hang on, we've forgotten fucking. Fuck it. You know what? Veron's over there. So in fact, Veron. Let me just look at Veron. Veron starts as a non-EU, but he already starts on a huge wage anyway, so an adequate wage. Okay. Let's just get through this and hope for that deal for Nikiforenko to come through. There is one more way I'm going to explain to you how you can get through the work permit. It's not a way I'm going to be able to show you, though, if I'm truly honest with you, and you'll understand why in a moment. Yep, whatever. What an injustice of a penalty shootout victory. Okay, who gives a fuck? Okay, so let's wait for the Nicky Forenko deal to come through. Sorry, that's to show you that it's not going to come through. 33,500, remember? There you go. There you go. So there you go, 33,500, it's not gone through. Now, there is one more way to get a work permit in England. And I'll explain how you do it, right? So you know when your window shuts at the end of March and it's going to reopen, it's normally about May the 30th, 31st, June the 1st, June the 2nd, around that time. So, you bid for a player after, so this is when you bid for your player, right? First of all, you need to know when that window's going to open. Now, the way you can find out when the window's going to open is just bid for a player after the window's shut and it'll tell you. So, let's hypothetically say I know the window's opening on the 30th of May, hypothetically. I go for a player 1 week before, the 23rd, between the 23rd and the 29th. I go for a player. So, it opens on the 30th, we go for a player. That player's obviously got to be interested, and you've got to agree terms. Forget the 35 grand a week thing for a minute, okay? Because, Nicky, let's say what I said to you about the Leeds United, and you can't offer 35 grand a week. Let's be honest, right? If you're in the lower leagues, you're not going to be able to offer 35 grand a week. But, if you've got a non-EU that is interested in you, this is how you can get him. So, you bid for him 1 week before the window opens. I would strongly advise do it on the 23rd. Do it literally 7 days. I mean, you could even get away with 8 days, 9 days. You can even do a test really in the build-up to that week by seeing what will be accepted. So, you get your deal accepted, you offer him terms of a couple of hundred a week, a couple of thousand, whatever. Now, you must be in the window of 1 week before the window opens. He agrees terms, you do not confirm it. Because it will say he'll come through on the 30th. You delay it. You delay it by a week. Now remember, that week, you're in the last week. So, let's say it's the 28th of May, right? And he's agreed. It will say he'll come through on the 30th. You delay it, right? What happens is, you press the next week, go through the 30th, the window opens, blah, 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 blah. It gets to the 4th, 5th of June, and it says, your delay transfer, do you want to accept it, yes or no? Boom! You would confirm it. That 90 is yours at whatever wage you have offered. And that is another way how you can do it. Now, a very, very common player that I do this with is this guy. Gary Johnson first showed me him. So if I can, I'm going to show you. I think there's also, you know what I was telling you about, I thought maybe Nicky Forenko, we wouldn't be able to offer 35 grand a week. I should have really thought about doing it with him. So we'll do it again. We'll try that again. We'll just quickly flip through a game. We don't give a shit about this game, do we? We really don't give two flying fucks about the game. And that Egyptian, I do it very commonly with him. Because he don't look good, but I think he's great. And Gary Johnson first showed me him. So what we need to do is we need to see. We need an offer accepted. If he's not interested, right there. Okay, here we go. So we'll offer him indispensable. There you see. There we go. So we can't get him. Even though we're Manchester United, we cannot get Riyadh. Even though we can offer 30 grand. That, as you've already seen with Nicky Forenko, Riyadh will not move. He will not get the work done. So you can't get him. And that is based on his reputation as a player. Because every player has a home reputation and a world reputation, and because of the fact that he's only 17, Sigalko's only 19, or sometimes 18, but he's obviously got a higher one. It could also be, it's a number of factors, could also be his club that he's from, and not a high-rep club, but bottom line is you cannot get him. So you would have to really get Riyadh the way I've just explained at the end of the season. So let's pretend, right, this was offering me his agreed terms, hypothetically. Because he'll agree terms at 30 grand a week, of course he will, but the permit won't go through. And so it's really important. Now I think you might have a little bit more leeway. I think you've got about a week after the window opens before this goes through. Because if the window opens on the 30th, and you delay someone on the 29th, because it can't go through, you'll get it roughly to about the 6th. And there are other ways, and I'm not 100% with the other way. There are other ways. I mean, you might be able to bid for a player as soon as the window opens, who's non EU, and get him just like that. It's to do with that first week of the window opening. Okay, that is what is important. That is your key, and that is how to beat the work permit. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Until next time, take it easy.